Diva, and we are back in the kitchen for another delicious weeknight dinner that's going to feature high protein. So tonight we're making a high protein pesto chicken pasta. And pesto is one of my absolute favorite like Italian things to make, Italian dishes, I guess. Um, I really, really love it. And my daughter requested pasta. I had a different meal planned for today, but she's been requesting pasta. So I'm going to make her an Italian meal. But of course, we are going to make sure that mama, myself, can get hit my protein goals on my fitness journey with this. So we're going to make the pesto from scratch and we're going to, tweak it a little bit so I can sneak in some extra protein. Now, we're going to use chicken breast, which is going to be the main protein enabler in this meal. And then we're going to sneak in some additional protein to try to get to at least 35 grams of protein in this meal. So if you're someone who is trying to find different ways on how you can get extra protein in your meals, how you can, really double down on some high protein meals, then you definitely want to stick around for this menu. And I have market because I needed to pick up a few things. And so we are going to jump into making this meal. So let me know in the comments if you've ever made a high protein pesto. Let me know how you've done it, and let's see if we could swap some menus or recipes, I should say. So what I'm going to do first, though, is I am going to start with prepping the chicken because I bought chicken breasts and I want to cube those up a little bit and I want to season them because that's one of my things. Like I'm going to season my food. So we're going to grab a cutting board and we're going to start there. Now, if you are wondering, like, why am I talking about pesto and high protein? It's because I've been on a weight loss journey and things are coming together. But I've been on a weight loss journey, and one of the things that I swear I am telling you now, one of the biggest reasons why I'm losing weight because of my nutrition. 70% nutrition is the goal here. I posted this on my Instagram, and if you're not already following me there, I would love for you to follow Thrifting Divas. But they said it's really 80% nutrition, 20%, going to the gym. And I go to the gym 5 days a week, but I promise you, I am not working out like I'm not living in the gym, okay? I'm not there for hours on end at all. I am really focused more on what I'm eating, and that's what it's been. Abby's World, thank you for jumping on. And when I talk about eating, let me just say I love to eat and I'm not giving up flavor for the fit. So when I started this thing, I had to really wonder like, oh my gosh, how am I going to, you know, lose the weight and still enjoy food? And I have found that the best way to do it is honestly trying to just sneak protein in there, kind of lower your calories a little bit, but enjoy your food. Like I'm not starving myself. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. I'm eating what I want to eat. And so tonight I'm eating pesto, which for most people will definitely not be a part of any diet. I'm eating pasta once again, but it's really how we do it. Okay. Found you again. Loved your recipe. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Which recipe did you like? Okay. So as I said, tonight we are doing pesto. We're making pesto, chicken pesto. And we're going to start with the chicken first because honestly, that's the big part of the protein here. And also I need to do some things with it to get it right, ready and right. Now, one of the things when I started looking for, when I started looking at different recipes for high protein recipes, the same boring ones came up over and over. And chicken breast was definitely at the top of the list. Um, However, I'm telling you now, there's so many other ways that you can cook these things and enjoy it without having chicken breast for every damn meal. Tonight, I'm doing chicken breast, but I'm going to make it enjoyable. I'm not doing the, grilled chicken breast with salt and pepper, we're going to season our foods, because not seasoning your food is the reason why you don't want to eat diet food. Okay. Let me tell you that. So I'm going to grab a couple of pieces of chicken breast. I'm going to rinse these off, and then I'm going to cube these, because I think two should be enough for the meal tonight. And so I'm just going to rinse these off, but I'm going to cube them, and I'm going to grab a bowl so that I can go ahead and season them. And I'm going to go back to what I just said. Not seasoning your food is probably the reason you don't even like eating diet food, because I need my food cooked. I need it seasoned, and salt and pepper by itself, ladies and gentlemen, is not seasoning. I know I'm going to piss off some people in the comments, but I'm just telling you, get some seasoning powders, get some different things to season your food. I promise you, you will find it to be a difference. You will find that you want to eat the food. You'll find that other people want to eat your food, and you're not going to feel like, oh my goodness, I got to eat this nasty stuff. I'm in a couple of Facebook groups where people post their recipes and stuff for high protein. And I see the pictures they post, and I'm like, I won't want to eat that either. Because they're like, they're talking about like, oh my gosh, I don't want to eat. This is harder than it looks. It's not. It's because y'all not seasoning your food. You're just putting everything in there. Like, seasonings are not going to be the reason that you gain weight, okay? Or not lose weight. So what I'm going to do is cut these up. I'm going to cut them up in cubes. And so just like this big, because this is going to go in the pasta tonight. Oh, I have this knife, and this knife, every time I use it, tries to cut off a finger. It's such a great knife, but you just have to just be very careful. And while I'm talking, sometimes I definitely know my mind wanders. So I'm just cutting up this chicken breast. One chicken breast can be one of those meals that is just dry and boring. So ways to make it not is to have it with some type of sauce. Okay. Like if you're like, I can't eat another piece of chicken breast, find ways to make it in a sauce, marinated, do something different. It will taste better. And you will not be mad at eating it a couple of nights a week. Now, I would say I do not eat chicken breasts too often. I try to mix up our meals a lot, just so that, I don't get bored and stuff with the same thing. I'm also a person that really don't cook the same meal more than once in 6 months. So for me, this has been actually fun, trying to figure out ways to not repeat boring meals or not repeat meals at all, and still keep on that weight loss journey. And I've been working at this really hard for the last 8 weeks, and I've lost 11.5 pounds, right? And to me, that's freaking amazing. But I would tell you, the reason it's doing it is the meals. And so if you're looking to try to figure out things that you can do to lose the weight and, keep it as a lifestyle, I really think this is one easy way to do it without having to give up all the things that you love when it comes to food. That is what has been working for me. And so high protein, low calorie-ish meals. The one thing I have given up almost exclusively, except on the weekends, I'll have like a glass, is alcohol. But everything else, I'm telling you, I'm still eating things that I like. I'm just looking, I'm watching it a little more. I'm paying attention, and I am trying to focus on those goals of 35 to 40, 50 grams of protein in each meal. And so one easy way to do that is whatever I cook at home for dinner is what I take to work for lunch. So I better like it at nights because I got to eat it again. And that's another reason that I am focused on making food that I really like, because I'm eating it twice, You're so beautiful. Abby, that is such a beautiful thing to say. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so I think this is going to be enough. Um, remember for the maybe I'm actually going to do one more piece because I'm going to take to work. Um, and remember, this is what I'm using as the big protein boost here. A serving of this is going to get me about 27 to 28 grams of protein. So it'll be okay if I added extra chicken more so than pasta in this meal. So I'm going to do one more piece so we can have extra to go. And all I'm doing is cubing it. You can cook it as as breasts by themselves, but chicken breasts be like, ugh, maybe too dry sometimes. It's like it's one of those things that you really got to know what you're doing, or else you're gonna be stuck eating some dry chicken breasts all week. Um, when I first started working on, getting serious with this, a lot of the recipes had like the same meal every dang day. Like every dang day. I was like, damn, how often could y'all eat dry chicken breast and broccoli? Like, who wants that all day, every week? Like, oh, we're going to have to do something different. And I did. I started looking at the meals and figuring out how can I sneak extra protein in it. And by sneaking extra protein in it, you end up you needing smaller portions. You don't need to have so much going on in anything because the protein is going to fill you up for a good amount of time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to season the hell out of this chicken. Because this chicken breast is one of those chicken breasts that be playing in your face, be like, ugh, playing. And so I'm going to season the crap out of it. Okay? Because that's what we do. We season our chicken. Even though it's going in another sauce, but we're going to season it. So we're going to start with a little bit of olive oil, not too much, because I'm already going to be using enough of this a little bit for the pesto, and I want to keep the calorie counts down, down, down. Salt and pepper. You guys, most of you know about the salt and pepper. Don't stop there. Ma'am, sir, do not stop at salt and pepper. That is not seasoning your food. That is just starting the seasoning process. Okay? I'm going to go in with the black pepper. Do not stop there. That is not seasoning the food. Like, don't let them fool you. Okay? Like, don't let them fool you. It doesn't taste good. I promise you, it doesn't. It may look good on Instagram. It may look good, but that is not it. Garlic powder. Do not be afraid of the garlic powder. Garlic powder didn't do nothing to you. You can buy some more if you run out. Okay? Don't be afraid. Onion powder. They go hand in hand. You go pick it up at the supermarket, get both of them. Just go for it. It's not going to hurt you. I have some dry basil. Why not? Because we're going to be using fresh basil anyway for our pesto. So let's put enough in there. Some oregano. We're going to get that in there. And a little bit of heat never hurts anyone. So a little bit of crushed red pepper. Okay. See how easy that was? That was not hard. Okay. And get that chicken. I'm just going to get that in there. And if I don't feel like it's changing the color of my chicken enough, I'm going to go back in and add some more. Okay. Seasoning. This is not going to add calories. You're not going to wake up tomorrow 6 pounds bigger because you seasoned your chicken. I promise you. And if it does, you know what? Then to hell with life because these things are not going to add any type of pounds, So I don't know why people don't be seasoning when they are like in a diet stage. Like, girl, but season that food. And so I'm going to go in with a little more garlic powder and a little more onion powder. Okay. I'm not going to add any more salt because that will come at the end if I feel like I need some more salt then. I can't taste it right now, so I don't want to add too much where you can't take it out. You can always add, can't take it out, right? And we're still trying to be healthy, so let's keep, try to keep that salt down to a minimum. Okay. All right, so there goes our chicken. Um, this is something you could do in advance. Do this on the weekend. Season some chicken on the weekend. Promise you the middle of your week will feel better that your food is seasoned. And I keep saying all of this because I know I've seen a lot of these videos and I'm just like, ooh, they're missing a lot of stuff in that food, like seasoning. And I could see why now, when you think of diet food, you're just like, I can't. I'm good. I'm just going to go back to what I know. I'm going to put this on the side for a second. And then what we're going to do is turn on the pot. So remember, it's a high protein chicken pesto we're making. And so we're sneaking in protein in as much places as we can so that we can hit at least 35 to 40 grams of protein tonight. So let's do some math, okay? Let's do some math on this. Our protein is the chicken. It's going to give us about 26 to 27. Chicken breast is normally about 26 to 29 grams of protein in a serving. And then I'm going to use this. Screenshot it if you've never seen it. Go ahead. Let's do that. This is the Barilla brand, but it's a protein plus spaghetti. And this one has, for 2 ounces, calories, 190 calories. And then protein being 10 grams of protein in here. Okay, so we're trying to sneak in the protein. We have the chicken. Now we have the pasta. You know how to make pasta. This is nothing different. You're going to get a box of, a pot of water going. And that's what we're going to be using. Okay, so I'm going to get this going. Now, just like I season my chicken, I'm going to season my pasta water. It's very simple. Just add salt. Just add salt. Put your pasta on and just add a little bit of salt. You're going to season. No oil. I know back in the day, they used to tell us to put oil to stop it from sticking. You don't want to do that. You just want to season the water. And if you've ever had seasoned pasta water, or, you'll understand why you can never go back to never not seasoning your water for the pasta. Additionally, I'm going to be using some of that pasta water for my sauce. So I need that seasoned up front together. Okay? The name of the game tonight is season your ish. Season your food. I promise you, you will not feel like you're eating any type of diet food. So a big pot of water, and I'm going to put it on this pot here, on this side. And what I'm going to do for that is just some salt. Okay? Nice heaping thing of salt, and we're good to go. And I'm just going to put that in there. Okay. That's going to come to boiling, and then we're going to add our protein spaghetti pasta. Okay. I do like this one. If you've never had it before, it doesn't have that gritty taste. I've had a couple where it's like, ugh, this tastes like sandpaper. This one does not. But we're going to also make our sauce that we're going to not even remember that we're eating the protein pasta. Okay. All right. Here's what we're going to do next. Let's go ahead and start maybe I should start the pesto. Yeah, let's start the pesto, and then we're going to get the chicken going, and then we're going to bring everything together. Hello, Mr. or Miss Paris Fletcher. We are cooking tonight high protein pesto pasta, chicken pasta. So I've gotten the protein in the pasta. I've gotten protein in my chicken. Now make the pesto sauce. Now, pesto sauce is definitely one that you're like, oh, how you gonna make this high protein? Let me show you. Okay, so I'm gonna make the sauce first, and then we're gonna put everything together on the fire. Quick, easy, simple. All right, what I'm gonna bring over to you on your side Actually, let me just bring the camera on my side so that you can see what I'm doing over here. All right. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and give it a little subscribe. If you are someone looking for some really good ways on being able to lose weight, enjoy the food that you're eating, um, and not have to worry about giving up the flavor for the fit, I come on here in the evenings, on most evenings, and show you what I'm cooking for dinner. And that dinner is what I'm also taking to lunch. So I'm hitting my protein goals for my lunch and dinner. And then I make something with a high protein for breakfast. Okay. So today I just made a quick parfait with some extra protein powder. But back to tonight's meal, we're making protein. We're making a high protein pesto, and I'm going to make sure the camera so you can see what is going on over here. Okay, so I have my blender that I'm going to use tonight for this, and we're going to just use I'm going to use the Ninja to do everything on this one. All right. If you were here last night, you saw that I did a Thai basil chicken last night for dinner. It was, chef's kiss. It was so good. I ate that today at lunch, and when you heat up your lunch, people are smelling it. It's just like, oh my God, what did you cook? And I told them, people were like, okay, okay. But I had an extra one of these basils and I don't want it to go bad. So I figured let's make this quickly. And my daughter has been asking me for, she's been asking me for pasta. So I'm going to get the leaves off of the branches. This is a Mexican, well, in imported from Mexico, this basil. And so I don't think I have enough to make the pasta with only the basil. So what I normally do is I will mix my basil with arugula. Um, it's a really interesting combo, but it tastes really, really good. So I'm just getting the leaves off of the branches. I don't want the branches in this thing. And I don't want you see the flowers in this. I don't want that. So I'm just grabbing those leaves and getting it into the blender. The next thing that we're going to need is some Parmesan cheese. And Lord, I hope I have, because I did not check. I did not bring home any, and I certainly didn't check before I started this meal. And you really can't have this meal without that Parmesan cheese. So please hope when I go back into that fridge that we have some from the last meal. Okay. So I'm just trying to grab the leaves without the flowers. I should probably try to see if I can plant those here. Okay. And so I'm going to, remember I said it's going to be 2 parts basil and 1 part pesto. The 1 part arugula. And then here are my little secret protein boosters for this. I'm going to add cottage cheese to this. I know, you're probably wondering like, wait, what? Yes, I am. You're not going to taste it. Boo, you're not going to taste it. You're not going to know. You're not going to know. The basil and the Parmesan cheese are going to hide all of that. Don't you worry. Okay, so that goes in there. All right, I told you some arugula. I have a lot of the basil in here, but it's just a little bit of arugula. This kind of like bitter thing. It's a very interesting but delightful mix. So I'm not going to put too much of it in there because I don't want it to be too bitter. I'm going to grab a couple of I'm gonna try to get that down. Grab a couple of couple pieces of garlic. And so I'm just gonna put this in there. And while I say the word garlic, what I'm gonna do is turn on my oven actually, because I am gonna make a little side dish for my daughter, really, so she can eat this dish with like some bread. So I want to make some almost like a tomato bruschetta, but I'm gonna have it heated. So this is what I'm doing on here. I'm gonna get that garlic going, and let me turn on the oven. Bake at 350. Okay, because I want to heat up some bread as well. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna do 3 cloves in there. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay. All right, so we have in here basil, 2 parts basil. We have 1 part arugula. We have some garlic. Let's pray and hope let me hope and got the Parmesan cheese. Let's see. Okay. I do have some Parmesan. It's not the block, but you know what? It will have to do tonight. Normally I want to have a block, where you grate it. I don't have any, but we're going to go ahead and I have some of this grated one that's already. So makes the work easier, but it doesn't taste the same. I will tell you that. It just doesn't. So I'm just going to put a little bit in there. Okay. So we have about 1 gram of protein being added in there. Nothing much, nothing to write home about, but at least it's something extra. Okay. Remember I said we're going to sneak in some protein. Not something you normally put in pesto, but we're going to sneak this in there. But before we do that, I'm going to actually put a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to have this blend a little bit first, and then I'll add the cottage cheese. Okay. Last thing, actually, I don't have any pine nuts, so we're just going to have to skip on that. I'm adding a little bit of black pepper. No salt just yet, because Parmesan cheese is already salty, and I want to get that going first before I do that. And then last, I will add some lemon juice. So this is what we have right now. Sorry for all the noise that you're going to hear. But let's go. Okay, so you see how that went down really quickly. All right, now I'm gonna add the cottage cheese in there and get that going. I'm just using the Daisy cottage cheese, but here's where this comes in like. So 110 calories for a serving. A serving is half a cup, which is what I just put in there. And then that's 13 grams of protein. Okay? 13 grams in a half a cup. Okay? A cup I'm putting in now is about 26. Okay? So this is going to be a creamy pesto, okay? And what this is allowing it to do right now is obviously blend the cottage cheese curds so that we can have a smooth texture, and it's not going to be lumpy. Okay. let's check this out. Stronger. I am making a high protein pesto salad, pesto sauce. Okay, so it's pretty thick, so I'm gonna need to go in now with some water, some olive oil to get that to loosen up, and then maybe some water. Okay, so I'm adding olive oil to it, and I do want to taste it as well to see if how is it coming along. By the way, yeah, you don't. You definitely do not taste any cottage cheese in this. I do think I need more. I'm not gonna have enough unless I dilute this with some of the water stuff, but we'll see. Let's go in and do a pulse. And so it's not as thick anymore. Okay, so it's still kind of thick. So one of the things I'm going to do, additional protein in here, I'm going to put a little bit of some bone broth in this, right? So I'm just making the sauce for the pasta and the chicken at the end. Do whatever you want. Like, is this traditional, making it like this? No. But we're trying to add protein because your girl looking to get to her 40 grams of protein tonight and tomorrow. So remember what we talked about. 13 grams of protein in here. And then this bone broth is going to give me 18 grams of protein in a container. The full thing is a container. So we're probably not going to need all of that, obviously. So I'm going to just cut out here. I'm probably going to be adding like maybe 5 to 6 grams of protein by adding it like this. Okay. While I'm doing that, let me add some more basil because I want a lot of sauce. Okay. And I'm just making the sauce here. I could make it in, somewhere else, but I like the blender so I can get the curds in the cottage cheese to be nice and smooth and blended. So that's why I'm doing it here. Could I have done this in the pan or in the pot with the chicken? Probably, but I tried that before and it didn't come out. It didn't come out well. So I'm making it off and then I'm going to add it slowly to the meal once the pasta. So pasta is getting ready to boil and then we're just going to cook the chicken and we will be done. See how quick and easy that was? And I'm about to be, eating a nice little pasta dish while I'm losing weight. And today I do strength training every day, and I definitely killed it today. I was on a heavy lift today. So tonight, just having this protein sit in me tonight, get those muscles restored for tomorrow's gym session. I'm adding a little more arugula. And I'm going to add a little more Parmesan cheese. Okay. This one is the shredded Parmesan cheese. I used the grated one just now. I'm going to add a little tip of olive oil. The other thing, by adding all these other protein fillers, I didn't have to use as much olive oil because normally when I made this dish, when I wasn't concentrating on diet, I would, that's like 2-3 cups of olive oil that you can go through. But adding the cottage cheese and adding the bone broth is definitely going to make a difference. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, definitely getting, it's not as thick as before, but still kind of still thick. I want it to be loose. I'm gonna taste. Oh yeah, this is really good. Only thing missing here is that I do want it to be um, not as thick. So I'm gonna add some more bone broth. Okay, and I do think it needs a little bit of salt now. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon juice. And then I think we'll be done. Let's get this going for a second. And I'm gonna put this on low. I'm gonna grab a lemon. Guys, I'm gonna show you this lemon. I got this lemon from a co-worker. Look at the size of this thing. Like, crazy big. I had no idea what I don't even know. How does one grow a lemon this size? But nice. All right. Go back in. Let's just do one more taste test. Taste, taste, taste. Okay. And now it's exactly that. Let me show you what I'm talking about. See, there we go. You see how liquidy it is? That's what I wanted. So, yes. Because I'm a glutton for punishment, I'm just gonna add a little more. I'm gonna use this tray. A little more of our cheese in there. Our lemon. And then I think we would be ready to cook the chicken. Okay. Since I only have a little bit of petals. Hey, Mama. Did you walk Zena already? Huh? All right. Just a little bit of, I have a little left. I'm going to leave the last bit for my bruschetta with my tomatoes. So I have that. So just leave that. And so if you're just joining me, we're making obviously a creamy, but a high protein basil pesto. And so we're just pulsing this now. And that's good to go. Okay, so we are done making the pesto. And I think I made a lot, so that's going to be able to get us through this whole dinner. I'm going to clean up some of the areas here now because I like to try to clean up as I go. Let me know in the comments if you're someone when you cook, if you're cleaning up as well, or everything is a mess and you'll clean up after you've eaten, because the point of the game is to get that food going. All right. As I mentioned, I made a high protein pesto. And so if you're just joining, just to let you know what is in it, it's not your typical pesto alone with Parmesan cheese, pine nuts, and olive oil. I added bone broth, which is going to give me probably in this, I'm probably added, I would say about 9 grams. It's about half of this that I use. And then I used cottage cheese. And cottage cheese is going to give me 13 grams of, in a half cup. I used about a cup of cottage cheese. So we're looking at 26 grams of protein. We also used a protein pasta that we have on the stove boiling. So that's going to give me another 10 grams of protein. And then we're going to have our chicken, which is going to be about 26 to 29 grams of protein, depending on what I'm, how much I'm using. So, but that all said, I think we're hitting over 40 grams of protein in a dish that most people would never think about when they're on a diet. All right. So we're going to get our pots ready. I'm going to get a big, I'm going to use this pot tonight. And we are going to get those things ready. I'm going to bring this over here. Chicken has been somewhat marinating. I'm going to put these things away. As I mentioned, I want to, by the time I'm finished, I can eat and there's not a lot to do with, we don't have a lot that we have to do. Chicken is ready. Put these things back, my salt and pepper. And my pasta has been, the water is going and getting ready for the pasta. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil and I'm going to bring you guys onto this side now so you can see the magic happening here. Okay. And if you notice, I did not use heavy cream to make the creaminess. I have some heavy cream here. We'll see how it tastes and if I need to add a little bit to just bring that creaminess. But we're going to try to not have to use it. But, our taste buds will tell us differently. I'm going to add some olive oil in here. And that's heating up so I could get ready to cook the chicken. Remember, our chicken has been seasoned. If you joined me earlier, you saw me season this, and you also heard me say season your chicken, especially when it comes to chicken breast. Like salt and pepper is just not it. There's nothing you can do for that with salt and pepper. Chicken breast is one that does not play games, meaning it will hurt your feelings on how dry and boring it is. So do the right thing. Get some seasonings, put it in there. It doesn't have to be, fancy. I used I used garlic powder. I used onion powder. I had some thyme and some dry basil and a little bit of red pepper flakes. It's not fancy, but I tell you what, it's going to be fancy in my mouth because it's definitely not going to be boring. And I am tired of seeing folks with chicken breast with salt and pepper. Ma'am, you need more than that because it's just not. It's giving, I didn't care. And now you wonder why you don't want to stick to your diet and eat your chicken breast because it is unseasoned, ma'am. It's unseasoned. That's why. That's why nobody wants unseasoned food and no one wants to eat that more than once a week. Okay. Pot is going. I'm going to change this out. Probably need a better one. Okay. And if you've seasoned your food well, if it smells good when you start cooking it. Okay? If it does not smell or you don't smell anything, you got a problem. I'm just telling you now. You have a problem. So I'm smelling it. It smells good. You walk into the kitchen, you wonder what I'm cooking, then we know we're doing something right. What I did not do well here, I should have waited for this to get more hot. You see how it's sticking here? It's because I did not wait for the oil to heat up well enough so that I can cook it. But you know what? We all make mistakes. So now I'm stuck kind of moving it around so that it doesn't stick to the pot and it can cook evenly. But that's one of the things, my impatience. I should have waited. You don't want to see that sticking. It's because I didn't wait for the pot to get hot enough and for the oil to do its thing. marinate the coat the bottom. But it's all good. Okay, my water is boiling on that side, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the spaghetti in. And so things are coming together nicely, finishing up at the same time. That's what we want. Okay. Marilyn, thank you for joining. Teresa, you said you clean up as you go. Yeah, I don't get the people. My daughter, when she cooks, I be like, girl, why does the kitchen look like you used every single meal, everything in here? Because she doesn't clean up as she go, and it's like it stresses me out. Like I come in and like everything is everywhere. I try to clean up. You know, one of the things I'm trying to do is like as I go, I just load the dishwasher immediately as well. But oh, okay. So this is almost done. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding some of the pesto liquid in here. Right? So the chicken is pesto chicken. So it's not going to sit by itself. And that's one of the ways I hide. So I just don't like chicken breast. Like I find it to oops. I find it to be very it's just not a food that unless you really do it well, I need it in a sauce or something because it just tastes not so great. Okay. But this is looking good. It's smelling great. And now we're going to start working on adding our pesto. Um, okay, it's sweating out there. I'm going to give it a little more time. And as I said, we're going to start. We have our spaghetti on the side here that's going to start quickly being ready for us to work with. Okay. There we go. Chicken is well seasoned. Okay. That's how we're going to do this. If you're going to make this dish, make sure you're seasoning the chicken and cooking it separately. I made the pesto separately, and now it's just a matter of combining stuff. Some of this raise the thing is on high. Okay, so let's go ahead and start adding our pesto. Okay, it's definitely thick, so I might have to use my some cream, just a cream, get it down a little bit. But it smells amazing. It smells amazing. Look at this. Tell me, come through. Come through. I'm going to lower the heat a little bit now, so I don't want it to... Remember the whole thing about cooking is tasting as you go. Do not be afraid to taste your food because nobody wants to have it at the end of the time and be like, ugh, I did not like that. The pesto is popping. The pesto is popping. Okay, lowered the heat almost to a simmer. And I'm not going to add all of the pesto just yet because I want to mix my pesto with the pasta. So I am going to give it a little bit of time. I'm just going to keep it on a very low heat. Let's taste the chicken, how that chicken is tasting with it. Whew. Okay. Juicy, not dry. Chicken got its own little flavor because we seasoned it. Okay. Do you salt the water for the spaghetti? Diane, of course, ma'am. You have to. I call it seasoning my water. Okay. Now, I have a lot left in here, which is good. Okay. We're going to use this. We're going to just let this sit for a second. Over here is the spaghetti. Let me see if it's ready. Because what I want to do is go in there, add it. You do this test. Remember, al dente. Keep this on very low. And this still needs a little bit of, but maybe 2 or 3 minutes. But guys, it tastes good. It tastes good. So the spaghetti is finishing up. I'm going to add it to this. And the one thing I want to do quickly while that is finishing up is make a little, I'm probably not going to have any of this because I'm trying to not do the bread and stuff, but we'll see. Let's see if I have some tomatoes. I have some tomatoes. I thought I had tomatoes in here. Okay, maybe not. Okay, we have some time. So we'll do a quick little bruschetta to go with some bread. And this is how we will do this. Actually, I might make it with some red peppers. So let me show you how to make a beautiful little side dish while that is happening. Super quick, nothing too fancy. I'm just looking to see if I have anything else in here to go with it. Okay, let me grab a cutting board. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roast a couple of these peppers really quickly. The oven is already on, so this should not take too long. And so I'm just going to get a dish here. Let me get a knife. Rinse this knife really quick. And these are like sweet, these are sweet peppers. I'm going to de-seed it, take out the seeds from in here. Just cut it in half. And this is like to make a dipping sauce for some Italian bread that we can they can have along with the pesto. So I'm just cutting, taking out the seeds. Cut it in half, do that. I have a little bit of tomatoes left, so might as well just throw that in here like that. Okay, in the garbage it goes, clean up as we go. Okay, it's not much, it's just a small dipping sauce, so I don't need to do too much on that. I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil and some salt and pepper. And then put those in the oven. The oven has been going now at 350. So I'm just gonna put this. Some salt, pepper. I'm gonna add a little bit of crushed red pepper on this as well. We'll give it a little kick. I'm going to add some black pepper. And a little bit of garlic powder. Okay. And just put this in the oven so I can work with it as a dip. It's just something that's going to be able to, something you can dip and put on your Italian bread. Okay, let's get back to our spaghetti. Let's see, is it done? Should be done. We are ready to go. Okay, so back to the pot with the chicken. Okay. Okay, we are going to basically, I'm just transferring the spaghetti over. Just transferring it from the pot of water over to the chicken. And then we're going to try to get as much as we can, saving ourselves not having to strain and come back and all of that. Just grab it with your tongs into your pot. Okay. And now we're going to just mix and incorporate the chicken. Now remember, I have more more pesto sauce to do, so don't worry. It looks definitely like, girl, you need some pesto in there. Keeping your pot on very low. I'm just trying to incorporate the chicken in there for a little bit. And now we can go in and add, let me get rid of this guy. So it's creamy pesto. Normally you would have made this for the cream. It would have been, you would have used heavy cream. I might still use a little bit, but let's see what we have here. I want it to be creamy and saucy. And that's kind of that. And no one is going to know that there's cottage cheese in here, bone broth. That's how you're sneaking in that protein. And for my daughter who's like, I don't want to be on a diet with you, I'm going to make her a little bread, Italian bread with a dipping sauce to go with this. And then she can use that same bread to sop up some of the, you know. I'm going to turn the pot off because I don't want it to get too mushy. See how that looks? It's so good. Creamy. I had made pasta like last week on one of the things, and my husband was like, oh, it didn't have enough sauce in it. So tonight, I'm going to give them all the sauce they need. I feel like I'm getting a workout alone, moving this around. Would you believe that this is 40 grams of protein in here? Like, and it tastes Amazing. All right. Let's get a fork. Let's do the taste test because at the end of the day, if it doesn't taste great, I don't care if it's 400 grams of protein, I'm not going to eat it. So I'm just going to go in. Okay. I want to taste just the pasta for a second. And then how the chicken tastes with that. Mm. Damn delicious. Okay. This tastes amazing. Oh my goodness. All right. So that is a high protein pesto salad. Oh, it's hot in here. That is a high protein pesto pasta, chicken pesto. Okay. For those who just joining, hello, hello, Anna. Hello, your boy Coco. Okay. So what I did, as a quick recap, oh, the smell of roasted bell peppers, red bell peppers. It's gonna go great. Talking about going great, I should probably cut up some of this to add to the. I want to add this into the oven to heat it up a little bit. Let me get a bread knife. And while I do that, I want to go over the menu of what we just made here. Where is my bread knife? So that you can make it as well and not feel guilty of eating this. Not one drop of heavy cream was used in making this. Just to let you know. Creamy, but no heavy cream. Okay, so the pasta is I threw out the box, but it's the Barilla high protein or protein plus, I guess they'll call it. So you can find those at your local supermarket or definitely Amazon. The chicken is chicken breast, but season it. Okay. Salt and pepper alone is not it. Most of the volume is gone since you took off your jacket. It's hard to hear you now. Oh, thank you. It's because my microphone was on the jacket, and now I cannot figure out where the microphone is. 1 second. That's crazy. Hold on. That is so crazy. I don't know where my microphone went. Hopefully this one is working. Let me know if you're hearing me on this one. But I can't figure out where my microphone just left. Oh, here it is. I found it. There we go. Microphone went. Okay. As I was saying, and thanks for bringing that up. As I was saying, is that my if you just joined and you're trying to figure out if you can really have pasta and stuff like that, like go for it. Go for it. Just try to do different things with it. Like make this a high protein pasta instead of just your regular pasta that has, heavy cream and all of that stuff. So for the pesto, what I did, which is pretty much adding at least probably what I did, add about another 15 grams of protein in just the pesto sauce alone, is cottage cheese, bone broth. Okay. And you will be a-okay. All right. So I'm just cutting up some pieces of bread. I'm not going to do too much because if I have one, it's just one piece. My husband, my kids love this thing. They love adding the bread. And it's such a good way to sop up some of the sauce that you're going to get. So I'm just going to add this now to my to the oven, to the pan that we already started making the different medley. So I'm gonna just do that. And then I'm gonna clean up, and then we're gonna plate our meal so that we can see the full thing. All right, what questions do you have about this? As I said, if you're new to my channel, I am all about a high, not a high. On my channel, it's about luxe lifestyle on a budget. And part of that is my health. About 2 months ago, I realized I was definitely, while I've never been a very big person, to be honest. I'm not even going to lie about that. I wasn't fitting into my clothes anymore. And I needed to do something quickly, but I wanted to make sure that whatever I did would be something that I could sustain. I didn't want any crash diets. I don't want to be in the gym all day. I don't like being in the gym at all, to be honest with you. I don't like being in the gym at all. But I needed to do something that I can keep up with, challenge myself, but still feel like I'm making progress. And I would say this, if you had seen me 2 months ago, I probably would never be wearing this dress without the proper shapewear, as they would say. Now I'm like, okay, a little tummy in there is not too bad. I'm okay with that. But I love how things are moving along. I love how the weight it's getting off of me. And I would say the biggest reason it's doing that is because Elijah, come and unpack the dishes, please. Yeah, my son, I told him to unpack these dishes before we started because he wants to play games now. He's going to be online unpacking dishes in front of y'all. So I'm not playing these games. I asked you to unpack the dishes.
What did I not unpack?
Every single thing in there. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys. I have to mother while I'm doing this because this is ridiculous. I asked him to do this before I started the live. Okay? Before. So he's going to do it and, yes, be embarrassed in your mom's life at this point. Anyway, what I was saying before is that I started, really researching, like, what do I need to do to really lose weight, stick with it, and, enjoy the process. And through everything I've read and researched, it was about trying to do those high proteins so that I will not be, hungry throughout the day. You need to make less noise. I am live. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. So the high protein for me, sorry, I'm all over the place with him, but hi, they said hi, Elijah.
Hey, yo.
No, it's not hey, yo. Unpack. The high protein for me has made a major difference. And the big difference is, one, I haven't had to give up food that I really like. I mean, I have had to kind of, switch it up a little bit with some of the things I put in there, like the pesto tonight, right? 2 months ago, if I made pesto, I would have made it with 3 cups of olive oil. And then if I was making creamy pasta, I would have done my heavy whipping cream. Okay, tonight I didn't have to do that. So yes, there's some olive oil in there, but I substituted some of that liquid with the bone broth and the cottage cheese, and it tastes amazing. One of the things that I really thought when I first started, like, I'll do meal preps, and that the meal preps would be what I eat throughout the week. But when I first started doing that, I had realized that you have to do the same food every day. And I just can't do that. I just cannot. I cannot. And so I will do my same dinner and my same lunch. I could do that. That's fine. But I can't just keep dry chicken or pale chicken and broccoli 5 days. When you see it on TikTok and they're like doing all their meal preps, and the preps is like the same thing for 6 days. And I'm like, damn, that is going to get boring real quick. So on this channel, that's one of the things I'm hoping to push through, that you don't have to give up flavor for the fit, that we can make dishes including our cultural dishes. I'm from Trinidad, and so I have a lot of dishes that I love that are, Trinidadian or Caribbean dishes that most people won't even include in when they're considering a diet. But for me, it's just about being a little more creative, understanding how food works, and then mixing and matching some of the ingredients, and so that it can still have some good flavor but still be healthy, and so that you can still hit your protein goals. So that is where I'm coming with that. If you're loving that type of information, I would love for you to follow or even give it a thumbs up if you subscribe to that. Okay, now I'm going to take out the bread and I'm going to plate our dinner because dinner is ready. Okay. Let's see. Actually, let's go ahead and plate our creamy pesto chicken pasta. Right. And this is just, as I said, I'm probably over 35, over 40 grams of protein in this meal alone. Right? And it's not a meal that you will typically have on your dish if you're trying to lose weight. But that's the beauty of these things, that it's not about those typical meals that we're so used to. This is the pesto here. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and garnish with a little bit of our basil. Because I'm bougie like that. I still like my food, even if it's in the house, to look amazing. And I know my kids are going to want extra cheese. So I'm going to give that to them now so I don't have to even hear them asking. Okay. You should put out a cookbook of your high protein meals, especially any recipes from your native. Oh, that's actually a pretty good idea, ma'am. Because a lot of people who are like from Trinidad, they don't, I think when you're in America, they don't think of these other cuisines outside of the American cuisines when it comes to dieting and stuff like that. Unfortunate, because you're missing out on so many things that can really be amazing. Just gonna put this up here because I don't want to mess up my counter. Okay, so the bread is toasted. And so what I'm gonna do really quickly, you bear with me, as I said, I'm going to make a little dip. I'm going to make a little dip using our peppers. This is hot. Using the peppers and the onions, and the tomatoes. If I had this to do longer, it would be nice and charred, but you know what? Dinner is dinner time. I'm already like 10 minutes over, but I want to add this for her because my daughter's been like, Mom, it doesn't have to be, is it going to be diet? But a little roasted red peppers. Oh. And it's already seasoned, so you don't have to do anything now, but just cut it up and add a little olive oil for the dip. Or if you want to go extra pesto, you can just add some of the pesto sauce on this. I'm using my thing because this is really hot, so I don't want to burn myself. Okay. I'm just gonna put this in. And roasted tomatoes with red peppers or sweet peppers, because I have some yellow ones in here, is just, it's such a vibe. Such a vibe. And as I said, we seasoned it already, so I don't have to do anything, right? Like all I'm doing is just cutting it up so we can get it. And if I had, as I said, I should have put this on like a lot longer. I'd forgotten about it, but it's fine. It's already sweating, so it's going to do what it needs to do. If you put, also another way of doing this instead of putting garlic powder is to put like the garlic in here as well and have it roast with the veggies. Oh, you've not hit bliss yet until you've had that. Okay. Just going to put this on the side for a second. And then here's what we have in here. I'm just kind of bursting the tomatoes a little bit. When I say this smells fantastic, oh my goodness. I'm not even sure what I would call this, but to finish this off, we're going to add a little bit of our basil, the little pieces I have left. That's why I saved this, because I knew I was going to could add it as garnish, can add it on top of the meal. And I have a little bit of thyme, so I'm going to use some fresh thyme. I'm going to get that in there. As I said, remember, we already seasoned this, so there's no need to add anything. There's the salt and everything else is in here. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil. It's like a dipping sauce for the bread, so a little extra is what they're going to need. Okay. And so meal is ready. And so our bread here. And I'm going to taste it because why not? Because remember, you got to taste before you feed others. I'm going to take it up like that. Perfection. Perfection, perfection. Like, damn, Ayana, you outdid yourself today. You outdid yourself. I'm just going to have some of this. This is, I'm not lying. This is really, really, really good. Midweek, tastes great. Hit my protein goals, over 40 grams of protein. It's probably not as much carbs, not really carbs, but calories. But obviously, I'm not going to eat all the bread. I'll give the kids the bread tonight. But this, you have to try it. Really, really good. Well, thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already given this a thumbs up, would really appreciate it. And if you haven't started following the channel, would love if you could subscribe for more recipes like this. And Lori, you've given me something to think about, so I really, really will do that. Thanks, Special Master. You eat it all. It really tastes amazing. So time for dinner for the kids. Let's eat. I got to eat by 8 o'clock, so I could be done eating at least 3 hours before I go to bed. All right. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening or whenever you're watching this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And goodbye. Bye, yo boy Coco. I appreciate it.